Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Nerdarchy Ryan, and today I'm joined by
Nerdarchy Ted.
Nerdarchy Dave.
In this GM 911, Ranger Danger. These Ranger abilities will break your game.
Jump down in the description below where you can find Nerdarchy, the newsletter, game weekly tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy. Also, in that, while you're down there, you can find the original GM 911 post. And if you have your own GM 911, send it to nerdarchy@gmail.com.
So Andre sent us this email where he has a ranger in his party. They're using the revised ranger from the Unearthed Arcana, and the new ability of Primeval Awareness is really kicking his butt. The player is constantly stopping any beast attacks by being able to talk to the thing and persuade it, and he's chosen the favorite enemy of humanoids, and he's using it like sonar to know exactly where the orcs that are on patrol are, and it's stopping all the encounters that this guy's got planned.
There's actually kind of like an anecdotal situation that actually happened in a game I played in. GM Juice ran a game for us, and we were attacked by, I don't know if it was one cave bear or two cave bears. And
it's a hard cave bear economy.
Yeah. Well, Andrew Armstrong from DFC was playing in that game, and he was playing a ranger, a Beastmaster. And, after the fight had already started, technically this probably shouldn't have been able to happen, but the GM allowed it, so I would roll with it too. The player spent the one player, Andrew, spent a lot of time trying to placate the bear and find out what the problem was. And he couldn't deduce the exact nature of the problem, just that it was angry and agitated. And the way we were able to overcome it was actually take care of the problem that the bear was having.
Not heaps and heaps of damage.
No, not heaps and heaps of damage. So it turns out some orcs had taken up residence in the bear's cave. And this was distressing the bear. So
yeah, when the orcs move in the neighborhood, the property values just go down south. It's just no good.
It's no good at all. No bueno. So it actually led to the next encounter. It was an interesting thing. I don't think this is really a problem. There may be times when you cannot dissuade a beast from attacking. If they feel threatened, if you're in their territory, and they just tend to be like. Here's the thing, right? It's that same instance. Say we were just in that bear's territory. Like, the solution would be to leave its territory.
Right.
You might not be able to convince it to let you go through.
And doesn't that beast speech ability take a minute to activate anyway, or is that it's an action too?
It's an action. The
primeval awareness.
It's kind of like, all right, some stranger walks into your house. Are you going to be happy about that person being in your house? No. You'll be happy when they just leave.
Or you're going to swing a baseball bat at their head.
So,
it's kind of the same thing.
But if they've already swung the baseball bat at your head, then it doesn't work. You can't use this ability if you've attacked them, if there's any hostile actions that have happened or anything like that. So that's also a consideration. You have to kind of like, it's a role-playing scenario. So you role-play it. You basically are going to have this puzzle for your ranger to figure out, because they can't talk.
You're stating the intentions of the creature, of the beast.
Yeah, you read its mood, like it's agitated, it's fearful, it's hungry, or whatever, just its basic state. And from there, you can build a different kind of encounter. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And perhaps the other players can pitch in with ideas on how to placate the beast or how to fix the situation. And the other thing, like in his example, he literally called out a swarm. Mm-hmm. It won't work on swarms.
Right.
Because swarms don't happen naturally. If you read the description of swarms in general, it's a supernatural occurrence. So I would say that it wouldn't actually work. Or if it did, I would actually make the ranger make some kind of check versus whatever you deem the power is that brought together the swarm.
Right. So another thing too is, like, you have to take in consideration, is something marshaling the force of that beast, that the beast is more loyal to that creature, that entity that it serves, than it would be to the natural world of the ranger. Like, if it preternaturally serves a tribe of gnolls or a warlock or something like that, its loyalty to that creature is going to be greater than the naturalized solution of just running into a beast in nature.
Right. So I kind of have an addendum to that. I know you have something you want to say.
Yeah, go for it.
And here's the other thing. If it's being controlled by some force, you could literally make it where that's what the Ranger deduces. It's controlled or it has a loyalty to this group, and you can create this moral quandary for the Ranger, where it's like, oh, it's not its fault, right? And now, but it still wants to kill you. It wants to eat your face. What do? How do you stay true to I'm a Ranger that talks to beasts and solves the problems, non-violently, and still bypass this threat? Do they knock it out? Do they lure it away?
With violence. With violence is the way that non-violently.
Maybe.
Yeah, subduing it. Subduing it sounds good.
All right, so now there's two sides of this coin. No, number one, there is not a problem if your players are finding ways to role play out of your combat scenarios. They're not going to be able to do it every single time.
Or maybe they are in your game.
Well, I mean, if they are, then you have to find ways to do things that they're not going to be able to role play their way out of, and that's the other side of the coin. All right, in this particular instance, he's got the ability to role play with beasts. Well, you know what? He doesn't have the ability to role play with monstrosities and aberrations. You can completely go down that road, and there's combat for you. You're not getting it. Sorry.
And are they missing the combat? If they're not missing it, it doesn't actually matter.
Well, yeah, it depends upon what your players are looking for and what you as the GM are looking for, because the game's got to be fun for you too.
Or just have a session with all beasts, and at the end they're like, "How much XP do we get?" You don't get none. You didn't kill anything.
You just visited the zoo.
Yeah. I kid. If you watch Nerdarchy, we don't actually even give out XP.
It's like the whose line is it anyway of role-playing games.
So the other side of the coin is the second part of primeval awareness, and that's the ability to sit and concentrate for a minute to know the numbers and location of all groups of your humanoids, of your favorite enemy within a certain mile radius.
5 mile radius.
5 mile radius.
I do want there to be a third side of the coin, so this coin just keeps flipping. What the hell? What? This is a trick coin? Yeah, so the primeval awareness.
So, as I said, it takes a minute. So if he's going to stop and concentrate and meditate to try and get a location, okay, they're over there.
Yeah, you're doing the Aragorn thing of putting your head to the ground, listening to the foot beat of the orc army.
You're literally going, there is 15 orcs, approximately 3 miles here to the east.
And they're bearing 2 hobbits on the back.
So, all right, yeah, you can figure that out, but that takes time. This edition, or the revised version, doesn't require the use of any spell slots or any of that kind of stuff. The player's handbook version, that actually does.
It expends resources.
Now, all right, so the players are finding a way past your patrols. Give them a way to give them a problem that's going to have them sit there and focus on it, so that they don't have the time to sit and check where the monsters are and have the monsters close in.
And it also doesn't, it's not real specific either. It's direction and approximate distance. Right. And when I say approximate, I would say like in miles,
right.
The 1 to 5. So if you're trying to sneak into the orc compound, then you may just be like, there's just a bunch of orcs that way. Yeah. And it might just give a
shit ton of orcs.
It might just give an average. It doesn't even account for the actual patrols.
And I would also say too. All right, so it sounds like you have a ranger that's very amiable to keeping beasts alive by not slaughtering them out of hand when they can avoid it. But what you can do is that orc patrol that crossed the path, there's now in their wake where they cross that your ranger knows that they went, there's like a dead slaughtered beast, because that beast met with the orcs rather than the venturing party that would have prevented that from happening, because they would have killed orcs because they're nasty, evil creatures, right? I mean, depending on what moral quandaries you want to have in your game. Or, villagers, you can do that same thing where you find just dead bodies because the players didn't solve that problem, and there's a hunter that's now crucified to a side of a tree. Well,
so
inaction.
Now your inaction, it's a really, really great idea, Ryan, is going to cause, hopefully, the party to actually go search for those orcs.
It's basically the Spider-Man Uncle Ben quandary of him not stopping that robber who later kills Uncle Ben. It's basically that moral plight.
We could just not use orcs.
Yeah, I mean, you could use other beasts.
Well, and that's well, in this case, using humanoids or beasts against this particular player creates a problem. So go back
Use
to what I
not,
said.
yeah.
Use something else. Use your aberrations. Use your monstrosities. Use your giants. Use your
Undead,
dragons. Undead.
constructs.
So many things that you can pull from that's not going to trigger any of this guy's trigger points.
Yeah, and at the same time, you do kind of want to reward them for their choices too. So every once in a while, so they avoid the orc, the occasional orc encounter. Big deal. You just use the DM. Know that could very well happen. So if you feel like you need to have other combat for the night, just have other encounters in your back pocket.
And also too, so sure, they avoided the orc patrol, and now there's a whole village that's been set to the torch where the orc patrol went through. So you can have news of that happen, like other things that are moral repercussions.
Yeah, it really just depends on the area, the region, whether it makes sense. You could even You could even say, all right, so you still want to have something happen that night, and it's not going to be orcs because they're really good at getting by your orcs. Take that same orc encounter and just reskin it. Call them something else. Make borks out of them. And
Borks, totally different.
Totally different. Maybe I'll link to that video around here somewhere when we created our Fast and Dirty Monster, the Bork or Pig People, whatever you want to call it. But just use those stats and use that encounter for a different encounter later and call them something else. They successfully defeated, the orc encounter by avoiding it. Again, like Ryan said and Ted said, you could have repercussions, but you don't want to always be punitive for them using their abilities.
Not always. Sometimes just they get around without a hitch. But maybe they have to accomplish something, and orcs happen to be there. They have to do a thing at a place, and they have to do this thing. The orcs are just going to be there. It's like their fortress or whatever. So they have to go retrieve something, some relic or this or that. Well, the orcs aren't going anywhere. They set up camp. So
yeah, a caveat to the village thing that I would consider would be there's 15 orcs heading east, and just beyond that is the village of such and such.
Right.
So this way, you give them a chance to be proactive,
to intervene in something that's happening as well. Yeah, that's a really good point.
If you're having trouble with any specific character or class or features in your game, there's always ways to work around and work with it. Reward your players for their choices and make it fun for them. Let us know how you do it in your games in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can follow us over on Instagram.
You can hang out with us over on Nerdarchy.com.
So until next time,
stay nerdy. Enemy of humanoids, and he's using it like sonar to know exactly where the orcs that are on patrol are, and it's stopping all the encounters that this guy's got planned.
There's actually kind of like an anecdotal situation that actually happened in a game I played in. GM Juice ran a game for us, and we were attacked by, I don't know if it was one cave bear or two cave bears. And
it's a hard cave bear economy.
Yeah. And the way we were able to overcome it was actually take care of the problem that the bear was having.
Not heaps and heaps of damage.
No, not heaps and heaps of damage. So it turns out some orcs had taken up residence in the bear's cave, and this was distressing the bear. So
yeah, when the orcs move in the neighborhood, the property values just go down south. It's just no good.
It's no good at all. No bueno. So it actually led to the next. Well, Andrew Armstrong from DFC was playing in that game, and he was playing a Ranger, a Beastmaster, and after the fight had already started, technically this probably shouldn't have been able to happen, but the GM allowed it, so I would roll with it too. The player spent the one player, Andrew, spent a lot of time trying to placate the bear and find out what the problem was. And he couldn't deduce the exact nature of the problem, just that it was angry and agitated.
Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Nerdarchy Ryan, and today I'm joined by
Nerdarchy Ted.
Nerdarchy Dave.
In this GM 911, Ranger Danger. These Ranger abilities will break your game.
Jump down in the description below where you can find Nerdarchy, the newsletter, game weekly tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy. Also, while you're down there, you can find the original GM 911 post. And if you have your own GM 911, send it to nerdarchy@gmail.com.
So Andre sent us this email where he has a Ranger in his party. They're using the revised Ranger from the Unearthed Arcana, and the new ability of Primeval Awareness is really kicking his butt. The player is constantly stopping any beast attacks by being able to talk to the thing and persuade it, and he's chosen the favorite